Hey everybody, welcome to more. This is week 3 of our series, We Believe. This past Sunday, we looked at the message, the Bible is God's Word. It's something we can trust. It's something that God has given to us, His written Word, so that we can know His truth. And if you were there or you watched it online, I think you probably saw the bumper, the video interviews that we've done throughout the series. And really what we saw was a lot of people don't believe that. There is a mistrust for whatever reason, whether they think it's outdated or something else. It's kind of beside the point. But at the end of the day, they just don't believe that the Bible can be trusted or it is all true. We believe very differently in that. We believe that God has given us this word, the Bible, so that we can know the truth. And as Jesus said, the truth can set us free. I was thinking about that, particularly as we kind of bridge our way towards this final week coming up next week in this series, We Believe, and really thinking about how Jesus, His resurrection, God's word has radically changed our world. And we believe that it still can do that today. I was thinking a little bit about our conversation here in video and then your conversation either individually or as a small group, and really thinking about how do we take this confidence of what we believe and begin sharing that with the world around us. And I just want to talk for just a few minutes tonight on video and then give the questions to follow as an opportunity for you individually or again as a group to just kind of talk through some of this, particularly as we make our way to the final message in the series next week. And I really want to say that one of the things that I think is so important for us is that we who are Christians, we who say we have been born again, that we've trusted Jesus and we're following Him, it is so important for us to be equipped to study God's Word, to apply that Word to our life, that truth to our life every single day. John MacArthur would say it like this. He said, every true Christian should know and love the truth. Every true Christian should know and love the truth. You know, I was thinking about that statement, and it's fascinating to me that Jesus, in His high priestly prayer in John chapter 17, that prayer that He prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane, as He was preparing for His arrest, His torture, and then ultimately His crucifixion, He was praying. He was praying for those followers then, but as we who have studied that and know the prayer, we know that He began to pray for those who would come after, the future, the church, you and I. And in that text, He makes this statement in His prayer in John 17, verse 17. He says this, and I think this is such an important truth for us. He says, sanctify them by the truth. Your word is true. Sanctify them by the truth. Your word is truth. Set them apart. Sanctify them by the truth. What is the truth? Your word is the truth. See, when we build our lives on the truth and allow that truth to transform us, sanctify us, we are prepared then to begin living in such a way that we can communicate that truth lovingly and respectfully to those who are around us. And we can communicate that truth and live in that truth in unity with other believers. And really our lives then become this picture window to who Jesus is. And we can help the world see who Jesus is. How do we know the truth if we don't spend time in it? How do we know the truth unless the truth has sanctified, set us free? So we need God's word. And as I think about that, I think one of the things that we must take seriously is this. We want people to take our version of the truth seriously. So if we want them to take our truth seriously, then we need to study it, we need to believe it, and we need to obey it consistently. It's not enough for us just to say, oh yeah, I believe the Bible is true. Well, what does the Bible say? How do we apply that to our life? And how are we living that truth through obedience consistently in our life? If we say we believe something and we don't live it, if we say we believe something, we don't know what it says, how can anyone take us seriously? The importance of spending time in God's Word cannot be understated, and maybe is more important than ever before when we hear the testimonies of those on the video this past week saying they're not sure that they believe anything. So if we believe it and we want people to take us seriously, we need to study it, we need to believe it, and we need to obey it consistently. Most Christians will tell you they believe the Bible is God's word. And yet the truth is, research says, most Christians who say they believe that rarely read it. This is from George Barna. Barna, of course, Barna Research Group has done so many surveys, so much research into the world of religion, Christianity in particular. And he said this, he said, adults who use the Bible daily only account for about 14% of the total adult population. Only about 14%. He said, followed by 13% who use it several times a week, 8% who do so once a week, 6% about once a month, and 8% who use it 3 to 4 times a year. That's a sad statistic. If we are going to share God's word, if we're going to make a difference, have an impact in the world around us, if we want people to take us seriously about this truth and why we believe it, study it, believe it, and obey it. That cannot be understated. That is so important for us. The good news is there are so many resources available to us to get God's word in our hands. I found this fascinating also from Barna because I find this to be something that maybe is a real glimpse into our world today. But he says in his research now that more than half of users that see the Bible as God's truth search for Bible content on the internet, about 57%. And then, get this, about 42% of Bible users, 42% now use the Bible through a Bible app. Of course, the one that we talk about so often is YouVersion Bible app put out by Life Church. And there's so many resources on there, so many different translations of the Bible. Beyond that, so many devotional thoughts and other things, so many different ways to connect with friends on there, to do Bible studies together, to read together, to study together. All of those things are available right on our smartphones, regardless of what kind you have. And so I think what that tells us, what that reminds us is that if we think that it's difficult to spend time in God's word, we're kidding ourselves. It's not. We have all these resources, from a hard copy of the Bible to a Bible app to internet searches. We need to make certain that we take the Bible daily into our life and allow it to feed us, nurture us, teach us, guide us, correct us, all the things that we talked about on Sunday. So Jesus, so many years ago, before he ever faced his own crucifixion, was praying for you and I, that we would be sanctified by the truth. And the truth is God's word. The word is truth. Take the word this week. Look at it differently than ever before. Have confidence in what we taught this past Sunday to assure you that what you're reading is God's word. And then spend that time every single day, making it a habit, seeking God through his word. As you do that, as you think about that, I promise you, his truth will transform you like never before. And I'll see you next week for our final week in We Believe, as we finish up this incredible series and our time together here and more. And we enter a brand new month, the month of October, as we see the end of 2022 coming just ahead. Hope you have a great week. Can't wait to see you then. God bless.